So today we have to discuss about the memory management, a new topic or a fourth unit we are going to start, that is memory management. Till now we have discussed the basics about all basics about the processes, how processes will be scheduled, how it will be executed, by which scheduling algorithm, how they actually works, in which conditions, what are the how the processes can be avoided from the deadlock situation, banker's algorithm, dining philosopher algorithm, right? So after that, the major concept with respect to our system, or major resource also we can say, to manage is memory, isn't it? Memory is also a resource. So how the operating system is going to manage that, how all the processes will be dealt with respect to the memory is very important, and the basic aspect of our system. And our operating system itself manages all the methods or the functionality of the memory management. Okay, so we know that if we say the basic structure, if we have to just recall the basic structure of our system, how processes will be uh, retrieved from the secondary memory or from the primary memory to the cpu, it looks something like this, right? Cpu, here we will be having one cpu, fine. And with this cpu there may be connected some registers, isn't it? Some registers will be there, or also we can say there will be some cache memory will be available which is connected, right? The memory will be whatever the processes will be residing in this cache memory, that will be retrieved to the cpu. So that why we have these registers and the cache, so that the time which requires to swap the process or to retrieve the process from the secondary memory, from the secondary memory, that time should be minimized. All the programs, whatever the processes are there, that will be initially residing in the secondary memory, fine. So whenever they have to execute, whenever the processes have to be execute, that has to be shifted into the ram. We also call it as a main memory, right? So to reduce this time, we used to keep our programs into the main memory, right, which is connected here. It will reduce the time. So which processes we are going to take, or at which location, at which address spaces we are going to shift that processes, that is the work of your operating system. Your os manages this entire memory. And the main registers, cache, this is also the responsibility of operating system, but the main thing to deal about the memory is RAM, because यहाँ से ही सारे processes क्या होते हैं, CPU की तरफ जाते हैं, and everything will be executed here. So, and we know that, if you remember, degree of, there is one concept which is called as degree of multi-programming. Degree of multi-programming. What is degree of multi-programming? Number of processes, how many number of processes are residing at the same time in the CPU, which is called as the degree of multi-programming. And to utilize your CPU maximum, if you want the utilization max, then what is the requirement? We should have more number of processes into the CPU. That means more number of processes we want in our main memory, so that CPU can utilize that. If I will just ignore this in between hierarchy, suppose here is the CPU which is accessing the RAM, which is the main memory from where the processes will be accessed, right? इसको अगर थोड़ी देर के लिए अगर हम इग्नोर भी करते हैं, so we want more number of processes available here, so that the CPU should be utilized properly, isn't it? अगर हम कह रहे हैं कि रैम का साइज ही अगर कुछ 4 MB है, and if the process is also 4 MB, then what will happen? Only one process can reside in the RAM at the same time, and only that process can execute at one time. because we cannot take any another process into main memory at the same time, because we have the maximum size 4 MB, right? So if we want to increase the number of processes into the RAM, the number of processes, or we can say if we want to increase the degree of multi-programming, then we have to increase the size of CPU, size of RAM, isn't it? If the size of the RAM will be increased, the cost of the system will also increase, right? आपने देखा होगा when you purchase any mobile, there is the cost difference is available based upon the RAM which is available. प्रोसेसिंग कौन सा प्रोसेसर कौन सा यूज हो रहा है, डिपेंड अपॉन दैट, isn't it? मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग है नहीं है, डिपेंड अपॉन दैट द कॉस्ट विल वैरी. So if we want more number of processes into the main memory so that the CPU utilization should be more, then the cost of the system should be will be increased, right? But to increase the degree of multi programming, we have to manage that. अगर इस केस में ऐसा हुआ कि we have the size of 4 MB and the process size is also 4 MB, and suppose here is any one P1 process is executing in this RAM, in this CPU, okay, जो यहाँ पे available थी, and in between if that process wants to execute or want to gain the access of some IO resources, input output, some उसको printer लेना है, scanner लेना है, anything IO उसको access करना है. So what will happen in that case? That P1 process will be swapped out to the input output devices that will be managed by the input output manager, right? So whenever any process will be accessing input output services, that will not reside into the CPU, or we can say that time the CPU will be idle. ओके, दैट इज द प्रोसेस. जब भी कोई प्रोसेस अगर सीपीयू में एग्जीक्यूट हो रहा है, and in between of the execution of that process, if that process wants to access any input output services, and if it is available, then that process will be granted that input output device. And whenever that process is accessing the input output services, your CPU will be idle in that case. Okay, क्यों अभी सीपीयू हमारा आइडल है इस केस में? बिकॉज हमारा रैम का साइज ही 4 था, तो हमने सिर्फ एक ही प्रोसेस जिसका साइज 4 MB था वो हमने लिया रैम में, राइट? और उस वही प्रोसेस हमारी अगर इनपुट आउटपुट के लिए गई है, देन सीपीयू विल बी आइडल इन दिस केस. वहां पे अगर कोई दूसरी प्रोसेस अवेलेबल होती, मान लो P2 प्रोसेस अगर पेंडिंग होती रैम में, सो इफ द सीपीयू इज आइडल, that time we can just move this P2 process to the CPU. तो CPU भी working में रहता, we can say the utilization of the CPU will be more in that case, right? So we have to increase the size of the RAM, but that will we can say obviously increase the size of our increase the size of or increase the price of our system, right? तो फिर अगर ऐसा है या फिर प्रोसेसेस आते हैं तो उसको मैनेज कैसे करना है? देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स, देयर आर डिफरेंट मेथड्स टू मैनेज दैट मेमोरी. बट सपोज यहाँ पे यूटिलाइजेशन की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे अभी ये मैंने बोला 4 MB का रैम है, 4 MB का आपकी प्रोसेस है, एंड सपोज आई एम सेइंग कि n is the time which is required for that process to use this input output services. N is the time required to access input output services by any process. ठीक है, तो अगर CPU टोटल CPU यूटिलाइजेशन अगर 1 कहते हैं, हम टोटल 1 रहते हैं, 100% 1 अगर इफ वी आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग, then what will be the utilization of CPU in this case? Because input output के लिए अगर वो n time में जा रहा है, then your utilization of the CPU can be calculated by 1 minus n. And suppose in this case, if I am saying this P1 process is utilizing this input output services for 70%, so what will happen? 1 minus 70%, जो भी आंसर होगा, that will be your utilization of CPU. That will be your utilization of the CPU, right? 1 minus 70%. Now suppose if I will say the size of my RAM is 8 MB. In the second case, if I'm saying if the size of my RAM is 8 MB, but my process size is 4 MB, then how many processes I can shift to the RAM? 4 into 8, 8 divided by 4. That means two 4 MB processes I can shift into the RAM, right? And suppose if I am saying 70% IO services अगर एक प्रोसेस यूज करता है तो यहाँ पे कितना होगा फिर n स्क्वायर हो जाएगा। एक प्रोसेस के लिए n टाइम चाहिए तो दोनों प्रोसेस के लिए टोटल IO डिवाइसेस IO सर्विसेज कितना टाइम के लिए n स्क्वायर टाइम के लिए। सो 1 माइनस n स्क्वायर, मान लो ये इफ आई विल राइट लाइक 0.7 स्क्वायर, 70% को अगर मैंने 1 माइनस 0.7 स्क्वायर लिखा तो टोटल यूटिलाइजेशन आपका कितना होगा, नियर अबाउट समथिंग 70% तक जाएगा अगर आप कैलकुलेशन करते हैं। सेम इफ आई विल इंक्रीज दिस साइज अगेन, apart from the 8 MB, if I will increase the size of RAM, that is 4 MB, sorry 60, if I will increase the RAM size, that is 16 MB, and my process size is still same, that is 4 MB, how many processes I can keep into the RAM? 4 processes at the same time, right? That means in the ready queue or in the main memory at the same time total 4 processes can reside if I have the 16 MB of the RAM size। तो वहां पे फिर से यहाँ पे n रेस्ट टू 4 हो जाएगा, right? In that case again the utilization will be increased। So in this way, by managing the primary memory, by managing the RAM size, the CPU utilization can be increased, and for that purpose the main thing here is to manage the degree of multi-programming। It is a very important part, okay, to manage the degree of multi-programming, because if we are saying our system supports the multi-programming, means at the same time number of programs can be scheduled into the main memory, right? But even if our system supports multi-programming but we are not managing the memory properly, and if we are not putting up the RAM size carefully or processes we are not keep putting up carefully, या फिर एक ऐसा भी केस होता है कि जहाँ पे मान लो लाइन ऑफ कोड मेरा माय प्रोग्राम इज ऑफ 200 लाइंस, ठीक है, माय प्रोग्राम इज ऑफ 200 लाइंस, and in between my program I only from this program I just want to execute this 2 line of code in between apart, या फिर जो एंटायर 200 लाइंस है उसमें से सिर्फ मुझे 2 लाइन का ही बीच में का जो भी एक लाइन ऑफ कोड है ना, जैसे रीड है, मान लो रीड एंड प्रिंट वाला एक सिस्टम कॉल है, रीड एंड प्रिंट, दैट ओनली आई हैव टू इफ execute for current moment। And if I am putting this entire program into the RAM and into the CPU then for execution, what will happen? This will be the wastage, right? कि उसको swap करो, उसको map करो इस memory में। It will take more time to manage this remaining amount of remaining line of code। Even if I have to just execute this 2 line of code, I am putting all the 200 line of code into the RAM and then I am putting up into the CPU, then that is not the correct way to utilize the CPU, right? So how we are going to manage the memory so that degree of multi-programming should be increased, and which will we can say directly impact directly effect on the utilization of the CPU, okay? Now for that we have the different memory management partitions, different memory management or we can say different memory management is divided into the 2 types, mainly 2 types. One is the contiguous and another one is your memory management is divided contiguous and non-contiguous, contiguous memory and non-contiguous memory. Now this contiguous memory is again subdivided into the static and dynamic, static contiguous memory and dynamic contiguous memory. This is also called as fixed and this is variable. This is also called as this, okay? And this non-contiguous type is again subdivided into paging, multi-level paging, inverted paging. Memory management is also, we can say, very interesting topic in the operating system, and which is also very easy to understand. And the questions are also will be asked in the university examinations, which are most of the time repeated questions. कि what is internal fragmentation, external fragmentation, ये वाइवास questions होते हैं. Then what is static dynamic, explain how the memory will be managed by operating system, how the system memory will be managed, like this. On 10 marks question will be asked. Okay, so third type is inverted paging. Then we have the segmentation, and the last one, segmented paging. Okay, this is the part of your non-contiguous type of the memory management, and this is contiguous, in which we have static and the dynamic. We will be discussing in the upcoming lectures or in today's session also, one by one, all the methods. Okay, now currently or nowadays we are using this type under the non-contiguous memory method. Whatever the types are, that we are using now. These methods, static and the dynamic contiguous memory allocation, these were the initial, we can say, invention. जो पहले वाले जो मेन फ्रेम कंप्यूटर्स होते थे ना, उसमें यूज किया जाता था. बट देर इज, वी कैन से, देर इज लॉट ऑफ लिमिटेशंस, or we have some restrictions in these methods, so we have discontinued. But based upon this, we have these methods which are invented, right? So this is also the very important part, and with respect to your vivas also, this is important type, static and the dynamic, which comes under the contiguous memory allocation. Now what is the difference in this contiguous and non-contiguous? So whatever the memory you have, suppose this is the memory of your system, and there is some, I have divided some blocks, I have some blocks from this entire memory. Whenever your system will be configured, that time your some of the part of the memory will be allocated for your operating system. This will be the fixed, मतलब जब भी configured होगा आपका system, that time your operating system will consume some memory. Okay, after that, whenever the process comes, any if process will come, and if that process is having some different partition, मतलब थ्रेड्स होते हैं ना प्रोसेस में, डिफरेंट पार्ट्स होते हैं. जैसे मान लो इस P1 के 4 ब्लॉक्स है अगर, B1, B2, B3, B4. Okay, if I have 4 blocks, if it is a contiguous memory, if our system supporting to the contiguous type of memory, then these all partitions, if these all blocks will be placed in a contiguous manner, B1, B2, B3, B4, in a contiguous manner, wherever the place is available. Agar total place utna available hai, then only those all partitions will be placed into this memory. Okay, now suppose if it is not, if it is supporting to the non contiguous memory type, here also operating system will consume some part of the memory. And if this is the same condition, if my process is having 4 blocks, and if it is supporting the non contiguous, in this non contiguous it may possible your B1 block will be residing here somewhere, and suppose here some other process, suppose P2 process is residing. After this, suppose here I have the empty slot, then here B2 can be placed, here B3 can also be placed. Suppose here again P3, one more process is available, and here I'm putting up the B4. So this is the non-contiguous type of method. Okay, where number of processes or the partition of the process can reside anywhere in the memory if the required slot is available. Okay, here one more also important thing कि यहाँ पे in contiguous memory allocation, spanning of the process is not allowed. Spanning of process means we cannot, मतलब मान लो यहाँ पे कहीं इधर थोड़ी जगह है, इधर थोड़ी जगह है, इधर थोड़ी जगह है, so I will put up some part here, I will put some part here, and I will put some part. No, it is not allowed. This is the limitation. Spanning of the process is not allowed in the contiguous memory allocation, but it is possible in non-contiguous memory allocation. We will see this one by one, but this is the basic we can say structure of your memory management, how it will be managed. Either it is in contiguous way or it is in a non-contiguous way. In contiguous we have two partitions, static and the dynamic. In non-contiguous we have paging, multi-level paging, inverted paging, segmentation, and the segmented paging. Okay, now let us start with your contiguous memory. Now in this contiguous, first we have the first one is fixed partitioning, right? Fixed partitioning, which is also called as the static method. Static method. Okay. Now what happened in this static method? Here, the main thing, the very important thing in this type is number of partitions. Number of partitions are fixed. Number of partitions are fixed. Whatever the memory you have, that memory will be divided into the number of fixed partition. Now here I have total 4 partition. This is the 1, 2, 3 and the 4. Total 4 partitions are there. Okay, fixed partitioning. Now in this fixed partitioning also we have, it may possible कि ये जो आपके fixed partition है that size may vary. हाँ, we are not talking about the size, we are only talking about the partition of your entire memory. Okay, now suppose this is the my first block or first partition is of 4 MB. मान लो ये 4 MB का है. It may possible this is 8 MB. It may possible this is 10 MB, and suppose this is 16 MB. Okay, and there is one more part. Here also I have 4 partition because we are representing here the fixed partitioning memory, right? But here the size is also fixed. Here the size is, suppose this size is 9 MB, 9 MB, 9 MB and 9 MB, and here somewhere OS is using, OS is also occupying some memory. Okay, this is 4 partitioning, both are 4 partitioning, but here the size may vary and here size is also fixed. Every partition having the fixed size, but here in this type we don't have the fixed partition. Partitions are fixed but the size of the partition can vary. इसमें भी 2 पार्ट आते हैं इस फिक्स्ड पार्टीशन में. ठीक है. Now here if we observe, our main motto is what? Degree of multiprogramming. Degree of multiprogramming. Now if you observe here, how many processes can reside at the same time in this memory? Suppose this is a RAM and I have divided into the fixed partitions, okay, with the varying size, different sizes. If I will ask how many processes can reside into this, can you tell me? How many processes can reside? Anyone? Yes. हाँ बोलो. What did you say? 5. Five. Yes, Abhishek. See, OS का पकड़ के अगर आप बोल रहे हो तो OS is not, I'm asking about the processes, right? how many extra processes I can retrieve from the secondary memory to the main memory in this condition. We have total 4 partitions. We have divided our entire memory into the 4 partitions. So here only 4 process can reside into this main memory at the same time. Only 4 processes can reside because we have only 4 partitions with the size of 4 MB, with the size of 8 MB and 10 MB and 16 MB. Okay, so degree of multi-programming, here degree of multi-programming, there will be a limitation on this. There will be limitation on the degree of multi-programming. Okay, whenever the system will be configured, the partition of the memory will be fixed. Okay, also in this contiguous memory allocation, spanning of the we can say spanning of the processes is not allowed. अगर स्पैनिंग अलाउड रहता तो यहाँ पे शायद हम मोर प्रोसेसेस वी कैन ऑक्यूपाई, ठीक है, बट स्पैनिंग ऑफ द प्रोसेसेस इज ऑल्सो नॉट अलाउड. ओके, नाउ हियर सपोज any one process arrives, suppose P1 process with the requirement of 4 MB. मेरे एक P1 process है which arrived and size of 4 MB. So what I will do, and initially it is all empty. So P1 process, suppose I am putting up here. So any another process which will come, suppose with the 7 MB. So I can keep this in the second partition. If any process come with the 13 MB, then I can reside this, I can put this into this last partition, right? But again, what if the process with the 32 MB arrives? What if the process with the 32 MB arrives? Can I put this into this memory partition? No. So that is also one more limitation. The limitation comes on the process size. Whatever the partition size is there, accordingly we can put the process into that partition. If we have the size of the partition less than the requirement of the process size, then we cannot put that process into this partition. Then we cannot execute that process because spanning is also not allowed. Okay, अभी मान लो यहाँ पे एक केस देखते हैं जहाँ पे P1 if arrives with the 4 MB, ठीक है, या suppose this is the 2 MB. So what will happen in this first partition? This is currently available, right? So P1 I will allocate here somewhere. इसने सिर्फ 2 MB use किया. It requires only 2 MB, right? So this is something which is remaining part, 2 MB. Now suppose second process will arrive with the requirement of 7 MB. The size of the P2 process is 7 MB. So I will put that process somewhere here. So here the P2 process will reside. Then this is again the leftover space. Okay. Now again suppose P3 arrives. Suppose 32. So 32 we cannot take, right? We cannot take 32. Suppose 8 MB. 8 MB वाली process है. What will do? I will put this here. तो again फिर से यहाँ पे 2 MB का खाली रह जाएगा space. Now whatever the leftover space is available here, whatever the leftover space is available here, this is the wastage of space, and this is called as the internal fragmentation. This is called as the internal fragmentation. This is very important with respect to your Viva examination or competitive examinations also. What is mean by internal fragmentation and what is external fragmentation, and in which case it can happen? This type of questions will be asked in the Vivas. Okay, तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? In the fixed partitioning of contiguous memory allocation, we have fixed partitions in the memory. The size of the partitions may vary or the size of the partitions may be fixed. Okay, but their partitions will be fixed. 4 ही partitions है तो उतने ही रहेंगे. So we only can proceed with the process which has the less or the equal to the size of this partition. That is the one thing. Also, degree of multi-programming is also limited. जितने यहाँ पे पार्टीशंस होंगे उतने ही प्रोसेसेस हम यहाँ पे प्रोसीड कर सकते हैं. अगेन, if the process size is less than the partition, if the process size is less than the available partition, then the remaining space will be waste. We cannot use for any that we cannot use that space, or we cannot use that memory for any another process. That is the very important part. वो सबसे बड़ा इसका ड्रॉबैक है. यहाँ पे बहुत सारी मेमोरी क्या हो रही है, वेस्ट हो रही है हर केस में. And this wastage of the memory, this is called as the internal fragmentation. Okay, now suppose here also some 14 MB, one more कौन सी प्रोसेस में है अभी, P4 will arrive with the 14 MB. consider P4 will arrive with the 14 MB requirement. So I will put that process here, right here. P3 is residing, and here I have put the P4 process with the 14 MB. So here also 2 MB is left over. यहाँ पे 2 MB बाकी है. Here we have the P3 was 8. So here also 2, here 1, and here 2. This is the leftover space, right? So what if, suppose any new process, suppose P5 process which arrives with the requirement of 5 MB. Suppose P5 with the 5 MB process will arrive for the execution, which is ready to execute. Can we allocate somewhere here? No, because this is a fixed partitioning. Even if we have the total memory space available which is required by this P5 process, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, total 7 MB is still available in this entire RAM, and the requirement of P5 process is 5 MB, but still we cannot allocate this P5 process into this RAM, and this is called as the external fragmentation. I'm again saying this is very important with respect to your Viva examinations and competitive examinations. Internal fragmentation and external fragmentation. Internal fragmentation is partition के अंदर, inside of the partition, once we allocate the process into that partition, and if still any part, or we can say space, is remaining from that partition, then that space, that wastage of space is called as internal fragmentation. यहाँ पे 2 MB, 1 MB, 2 MB, 2 MB, this is the leftover space. This is called as the internal fragmentation. And if any process who is waiting outside of the RAM, which is ready, okay, even if the total space is available into the RAM, which is required by that new process, but still if we cannot allocate that process, or we cannot shift that process into the RAM because of the lack of partitioning, then this is called as the external fragmentation. Are you getting this? This is very important concept of memory management. Internal fragmentation and external fragmentation. And in fixed partitioning, in contiguous memory allocation, 100% there will be the internal fragmentation. होगा ही, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जरूरी नहीं ना जितना पार्टीशन है उतने का ही यहाँ पे आपका प्रोसेस आए, एंड एंटायर स्पेस विल बी ऑक्यूपाइड. दिस इज नॉट रियल टाइम पॉसिबल कंडीशन, right? So there will be 100% internal fragmentation, and if there is internal fragmentation, then obviously there will be external fragmentation possible. Okay, the same case is happening here. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, fixed size of the partition, partitions are already fixed, partitions are fixed. Here also we have 4 partition, but the size of the partition is also fixed, 9 MB, 9 MB, 9 MB, 9 MB. So यहाँ पे तो और ज़्यादा restriction आ रहा है. At least we are somehow greater than this. जो यहाँ पे प्रोसेस हम प्रोसीड कर रहे हैं ना विद द प्रोसेस साइज, यहाँ पे लिटिल बिट एक्स्ट्रा यहाँ पे कवर तो हो रहा है, बट यहाँ पे either 9 MB or less than 9 MB process we only can proceed in this condition, right? And the rest of the thing is also internal fragmentation, external fragmentation, degree of multi-programming will be less. These all will be applied here. Okay, so this is what it is called as the fixed partitioning or static contiguous memory management method, where we have the fixed partitions. Fine. Now what happens in variable or the dynamic method? Dynamic contiguous method. Dynamic contiguous method. Now in this, suppose here is my memory RAM, and whenever the system will be configured, your OS will occupy some part of the memory. Okay. Now important thing here is there will not be any partitions are not there. Partition is not available. Fixed partition is not available. Okay. So whenever the processes will arrive, suppose my P1 process arrives with the 2 MB requirement. So I will allocate, whenever the process will come into the RAM, I will allocate the 2 MB to that P1 process. If my P2 will come with the 4 MB, I will allocate next continuous memory. We are under the continuous method. Remember, this is the contiguous type of the method. You cannot allocate P2 somewhere here. Okay, you have to allocate it here because we are using the contiguous type of the memory. Suppose P3 arrived and it requires 8 MB, so I will allocate like this, right? So in this way, I can utilize this memory more, or I can utilize CPU also more than the fixed partitioning method. यहाँ पे degree of multi-programming is also increasing, right? ये suppose 2 MB का था, this is suppose 6 MB, like this. So I can utilize, I can allocate process, I can allocate the memory to each and every process. If the memory is available, which is required by the process, then I can immediately allocate the process into the RAM, right? So here the degree of multi-programming will increased, or degree of multi-programming is more, right? Also, I am allocating the memory to that process. I am allocating the memory to that process, whatever that process requires. जितना इसको चाहिए था, इसको 6 MB चाहिए ना, I have allocated 6 MB only. If this P4 requires 2 MB, I have allocated 2 MB only. So whether internal fragmentation is available here or internal fragmentation can happen here? Is it possible internal fragmentation? No. So in this method, no internal fragmentation. Right? In this method, there is no internal fragmentation. Fine. Now, degree of multiprogramming, I have already explained. Also, there is no limit on the process size. Can we say this? There is no limit on the process size, because I'm not saying कि you अभी मान लो मेरा यहाँ पे total कुछ 100 MB है. Suppose my this total size is 100 MB, and if you want to proceed with the process which have the size of 99 MB, I can allocate the entire memory space to one process also with the size of 99 MB. I don't have any problem. This dynamic contiguous memory will say, right? अगर एक ही process 99 MB का लाया तो भी चलेगा. Different processes with this different sizes is also possible. Am I audible?
Yes.
हाँ. So process size is also not, there is no limitation on the process size also, if you will compare with the fixed partition. Okay, no limitation. Now, but इसमें भी कुछ issues हैं. अब क्या है वो देखते हैं. Suppose whatever the processes we have allocated here, from this process, suppose this P2 has executed. Okay, this P2 has executed and now P2 has terminated. Fine. Now, if P2 will removed from the main memory, then the space of this P2 will be available now. 4 MB space will be available after the execution of this P2. Okay. Now, suppose my one more process here, somewhere here, P5. P5 is also executed. Now, P5 space is also available. That is 6 MB space is available. Okay, 4 MB and 6 MB, total 10 MB space is available in my RAM. And suppose a new process will arrive. Suppose one P9 process will arrive with the requirement of 7 MB. With the requirement of 7 MB. Can we allocate this 7 MB process into my RAM? I have the total leftover space is 6 MB plus 4 MB, that is 10 MB is available in my RAM. And there is a requirement of P9 process is 7 MB. Can we allocate this P9 here? Can we put this P9 into the RAM? No, we cannot put. Yes, we cannot. Why? Because of this contiguous type of the memory allocation. We can only allocate in the continuous manner. Okay, यहाँ पे 4 MB है तो आप either 4 MB या तो less than 4 MB you can allocate. Here मतलब जितना total space उसको चाहिए, अगर वो continuous allocated है, continuously contiguous address space available hai, then only you can allocate that process into the RAM. Okay, but here in this case, if the requirement of P9 process is 7 MB and if you don't have that much of contiguous memory allocate available, then you cannot allocate this P9, and this is called as external fragmentation. So in the dynamic contiguous memory allocation method, external fragmentation is possible. There will not be any internal fragmentation. ये याद रखना, डायनामिक कंटिजियस या फिर वेरिएबल कंटिजियस मेथड में इंटरनल फ्रैगमेंटेशन नहीं है, बट देयर विल बी द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सटर्नल फ्रैगमेंटेशन. In the fixed partitioning contiguous method, there will be internal as well as external fragmentation possible, but in this, there will not be any external fragmentation. Okay, this is the limitation. We can, there is one method also to overcome this problem, that is 4 MB and 6 MB is available, right? So what we can say, we will just compact that. That process is called as the compaction. Compaction is possible, but this compaction is not an feasible solution. Why? Because for that purpose, we have to relocate all these processes, number of processes which are even running, which are executing, that also we have to reallocate, right? तो ये 4 MB 6 MB हमें कहीं तो एक साथ इधर करना पड़ेगा, तो यहाँ के अवेलेबल ऑलरेडी जो यहाँ पे प्रोसेसेस है which are available here, that we have to reallocate somewhere else. तो address spaces we are changing, right? The ongoing process whatever will be available, that we have to first of all stop. We have to preempt that those processes. Then in the PCB we have to keep the status. Then we have to swap out those processes. Then again by keeping by changing the location into the registers and everywhere, then only we can resume the process execution, right? So compaction is not an feasible solution, but this is also one we can say solution can be given, so that we can combine this and then we can allocate this P9 process here. Okay, so this is what the type of contiguous memory allocation, fixed and the variable. So in tomorrow session we will start with the non-contiguous paging or non-contiguous method. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. Write your attendance in the chat box. If already marked, you can leave.